If you stop by the booth, we'll open this for you. Thank you, folks. It's been great. Good night.
Hello from the Pacific Northwest. Thank you, El Fuego, for just tuning in to all the shows. Appreciate everybody that watched the Unmasked show. And here we go, the Unmasked After Show. And if you guys have any questions about the LX amplifier, I feel like they covered all the bases, but this is what we do. It's Tuesday. We had tacos. Let's kick this thing off. See you guys in 3 minutes.
So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
Tuning in from TikTok. Shoot Dog is here. It's starting to rain, and we just got a subscriber. Abo Gazal? Appreciate ya. The Green Reaper. I like it. It's like Green Team, but something Larry would like. Appreciate you guys. Oh, and there's Kyle. And Adrian. I'm fine with bacon. Sign me up.
Living life with Andy.
What's going on, Eric? And man, it has been super duper cold across the entire United States of America. People in Texas are getting snow. Florida's getting snow. It's kind of crazy, and it's like negative 10 degrees up here at night. It's very, very cold. And, you know, I was like, okay, LX amplifier, Kicker's going to cover everything. If you guys got questions, sure thing. But what about cold temperatures in car audio? What do you guys think? You know, like just like how we did myths and everything. That's one that I just kind of glanced over, and I would love to talk about it because you see it so often. But appreciate you guys tuning in. William, well, would you look at that? Would you just look at it? It's Living Loud with Andy, Kicking It, Kicker Unmasked After Show. Look at it. You see that right there? You're a rock star. Always. Thank you for what you do. And thank you, William, for tuning in. Appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you guys for hanging out with me every Tuesday and Friday. 10 o'clock Tuesday and Friday, and every other Tuesday at 8:30 when it's not Kicker Unmasked. It's a little bit easier now, and of course, those are Eastern time. So appreciate you, William. Thank you for tuning in. Living Loud with Andy. I got TikTok working where it wasn't collecting the comments correctly, and I got it working Friday night after the show, after we forgot to get the kicker going, we forgot to turn the amplifier on, all that fun stuff. And I was testing. I'm like, dude, the comments aren't even coming through. So now I got it working, and then TikTok shut down, and I was like, well, I don't really use it that much. But still, Kayla uses it, and if there's no TikTok, I'm in trouble. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in as well, Shannon. Illinois, it's -2 degrees. That is crazy cold, man. I don't care who you are. You know, if you got a little bit extra chub and it keeps you warm, you're that guy that wears gym shorts and no hoodie in winter. It doesn't matter. It's super duper cold, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Appreciate you, Shannon. Welcome, welcome, Basehead 30. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Randy G of Florida got the most snow recorded in the history of the state at 5.5 inches earlier today. It is crazy. And that is insane. Florida getting snow? You know, I feel like, birds go south for the winter. They're like, oh, what the heck? Did we not fly far enough? It's kind of crazy. Thank you for hanging out, Randy. Cold here in Illinois, Christopher. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you, the comment on the Kicker Unmasked show, man. And thank you for tuning in, hanging out with us. And how about the Unmasked show, man? I feel like they covered everything about the LX amplifier, its adjustability, its flexibility, and just kind of like, the 101s about it and what it does. And I love what it does, because it's not all the time you want to go into your head unit, or maybe you don't have a head unit, and you can do all that with the LX amplifier and adjust things. And they even said themselves, you might not even need the key amplifier for all that extra stuff, because it's going to do majority of the work. But I know there's going to be people that I want the key amplifier to get my listening position, and then if I want to change some crossovers here and there, I can do that as well. And flexibility is the name of the game when it comes to car audio, so that you can control how it sounds. Let's see. Bass is perfect for snow removal. I know a lot of the guys that never got to do the whole snow shaking off your car thing get to do it, and that's awesome. It really is, man. And enjoy it while it lasts. Thank you for tuning in, CAE. Appreciate all your effort in the car audio community, man. You're an awesome fellow. And thank you, by the way, for the help on Friday. I was talking to him a little bit after the show, and me being a big dummy, just going through the settings, and now we're utilizing all the gigabytes of RAM that we got, all 128, so hopefully it just keeps doing what I want it to do. Either way, thank you so much, man. And Simon Stately, thank you for tuning in on Facebook. As always, appreciate you guys on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing. And there he is. He's like, did you cue it yet?
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
There he is, Uncle Bobby B and CAE. They're like they're another dynamic duo. I'm not going to say the dynamic duo, because we had the dynamic duo and they still pop around, but still another one again. You gotta love it. Will, and Kibo. Appreciate you, Kibo. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're doing well, man, and can't wait for your care package. And by the way, Wade, thank you for sending me the Cookie Monster hoodie. I still need to put that on social medias and stuff. I've been slacking on the YouTube stuff. I've been doing other things and keeping up on Facebook and, family stuff. Playing Pokemon. Thank you for tuning in, Kibo. Got earplugs from Cincinnati. It is 0 degrees. Holy moly, that is freezing. I don't care who you are, man. That is cold. And we might as well just... wait. We got Ernie driving home, guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. He's making sure I ain't spilling no beans There ain't no beans. I don't know what you're talking about. Thank you for tuning in, Ernie. Appreciate you. And awesome job tonight on the Unmasked show. That's the guy usually yelling at everybody in the background. This is Ernie, so I know a lot of you guys already know him, but thank you so much, Ernie. Drive safe. Appreciate all the work that you do for Kicker and the Kicker Unmasked show. Keep it kicking, man. Thank you for tuning in. Be safe, buddy. Jason, WW2000. I know a lot of you guys tune into the Unmasked show. I mean, yes, Living Loud with Andy, Kicker, Cake goes together, but still, I appreciate you guys for doing that. I did notice all of my speakers were a bit quieter in the cold. I had to use more volume plus some more bass knob. Once the sub warmed up, I turned it back down. And that's a very key thing right there, where it's not even like, is it going to work or not? It's just like whenever you go outside in the cold and then you're out there for a while and you're trying to text on your phone, right? You never realized this. I mean, you might have when you were a kid, but you kept your hands in gloves. We're big dummies. And we're out there, and then our hands start to freeze, and it's really hard to text or even do anything with, motor force with your fingers, not with the subwoofer. And everything slows down, and it gets stiffer. So the same thing's going to happen to the surround, the spider, just physics being physics. And it's going to make it a little bit tougher. And yes, once it gets warm, then the material is going to flex with less resistance, if that kind of makes sense. You got elasticity, plasticity laws, and how things work with just surrounds, rubbers, all that fun stuff. And yes, that is half the point. And the other point is, am I going to destroy my equipment by doing so? And I feel, okay, there's going to be a limit. There is always a limit on the cold. Like if you're talking negative 200 degrees or even, negative 100 Kelvin, or 0 Kelvin, just absolute zero. And yes, it's going to probably just break, all right? But in normal situations, you shouldn't have an issue to a certain temperature and with the certain type of equipment that you're using, with the type of materials that you're using. So yes, maybe you shouldn't go full tilt boogie if it's negative 10 degrees outside, but at the end of the day, you might still not even have a problem other than maybe a little bit of efficiency, and that is what Jason is talking about here. So thank you, Jason, for tuning in. Appreciate you. He's always the one cooking up the good questions. Has everybody hit the like yet? And no, they have not. We got 20 likes. I need to make the like counter bigger. It's not big enough. We got 20 likes, 32 of you guys watching on YouTube. Appreciate you for that. And let's see, everything's working on the YouTube side of things. I wish it would just show me how many. Okay, so we got, all right, cool. So that is working. I don't know if TikTok is coming through. Yeah, no one's watching on TikTok. TikTok is very hard unless you're up and down. But either way, appreciate you guys. Bobby gonna fill. Oh, come on, CAE. Adrian, be safe, Ernie. I know Ernie was calling me right when the intro was going. I'm like, yeah, I'm live, Ernie. I'm live. I mean, I usually do pick up the phone, but not during the intro. It's like there's a lot going on. It's like, thank God for intros because I can set everything up. But otherwise, I usually do pick up the phone if he's calling. But thank you so much, Ernie, and please be safe. Christopher, I'll be getting one of the LX amplifiers. I know Todd Father, they brought up tonight. That was great. And he already got one. It's going to be here tomorrow, which is super crazy. So he must have I don't even know where he got it yet. Because I know Showtime, I was talking to Remy. I was like, hey, you guys going to be getting them? So that I can put them on like my website so you guys can, buy them there and, Showtime. And so he's already got one coming. I'm just glad you guys are finally able to get them. And the videos have been out for a while since SEMA, and then since we've been talking about it with, Amp Dinos, and now Kicker Unmasked has been just fully unmasked of the LX amplifier, and I can't wait to see you guys put them in your rides. You're going to love them. The KXA amplifiers were amazing, and, I mean, the Q-Class, I mean, do I need to say more? You're going to do any demos on the LX amps? No, I did not have anything set up for that. I know they usually do keep me in the loops of what they're doing, and I would love to do a demonstration on itself, but I usually keep that to Tuesdays. I know you know that. But still, with the LX 3000.1, there is some demonstration that I can do with the monoblock amplifiers, but the multi-channel ones that they were showing tonight, like the 7 channel, that's got a lot more going to it. More bells and whistles. It's got the little display, adjuster and all that fun stuff. Mine is just bass knob, amplifier, and normal settings that you see on the KXA amp, and just with different locations and stuff. But yeah, demonstrations, I love doing them. That's why I love having a studio, man. It makes it easy. Thank you, Simon. Appreciate you. And I do want to let you guys know that are tuned in, since we got most of you guys here for After Show here. We're going to have Sparked Innovations on this Friday, so make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be a blast, and I'm still cooking on something for next Tuesday. I got an idea, but if that falls through, I'm going to have to work on something else. But Friday is going to be awesome, so make sure you guys tune in for that. All right, let's see. Cornut and Cornbread. I think they're the same person. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe they are. Okay, scrolling down. Corny, I know. I was making sure you saw it. Paul Tharp, foot of snow here in Pensacola, Florida. That's awesome, man. I'm saying it's awesome, because, it's just like, when does that happen? When do you guys get snow? Not very often, but still, nonetheless, enjoy it. I don't know if there's enough to make some snowmen or some, just igloos. But if you do anything, snowmen are overrated. Igloos are the way to go. Build an igloo if you're in Florida and the first time you got snow. Just do it. Trust me. All right. I missed most of UnMasked. Any new L7X or L7Q announcements? No. Thank you for tuning in, Choke Change. Nothing that I can speak of yet, but if you just looked at it, you might have looked at it and seen it. But either way, nothing yet. And whenever they do announce something, they will be telling you guys. I feel like UnMasked, yes, you're going to find out stuff there first, as the YouTube side with the full video, obviously live stream. But KICKER does release a lot of their stuff on Facebook or their newsletter. If you ever entered the giveaway and you click the newsletter, you're going to find out stuff there as well. Thank you for tuning in, Choke Change. 37 of you guys in here tonight, 25. Smash the like. You know the deal. Oh, where's he? Where's Dave? Can't find Dave.
Just hit the like.
Just hit the like. Just hit it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Basehead 30. KICKER's king. KICKER is king. I missed most. Okay, I got that. L718 will be out soon. Not sure exactly, though. I can't wait. Just for the simple fact, it gives me something extra to do, and something that has been my driving force for a lot of the, you know what I mean? Yes, I loved running the old 18, but it was always, they're working on a new one. They're working on a new one, and knowing before a lot of people. And now that it's around the corner, I'm so excited, and yeah, it will be sad replacing the 18, but just the performance alone from the 12 to the 18, let alone with a bigger one, and it's just the same amount of power handling as, the 12 kind of deal thing, and that's a lot more than the old one. More excursion, more performance, it's going to be night and day, and I am so excited, man. I am truly, truly excited. I feel like I'm in trouble anytime Uncle Bobby B calls me out. Hey, it happens, man. He will call you out. He will. It's working. Thank you, Don. Appreciate you. So TikTok comment section is working. It's working, just no one's looking at it. It's all right. TikTok, you gotta be up and down, and I try my best. It works though. Comments work. Thank you, Don. Appreciate you for testing it out. Cedric Davidson, thank you for tuning in, and have fun at World of Wheels, man. I want to go, but Cookie Monster, it's a beautiful car, but to be at World of Wheels, you got to be on a whole nother level. I mean, Cedric's got a beautiful car, though. So, I mean, he's on that level. He can pull that thing in there. They're not going to tell him to turn around. They'll tell me to turn around until I pop the trunk. They'll be like, all right, I guess you could stay, but park over there. We don't want any oil anywhere. Okay. Dino is coming, says Ernie. That'll be awesome. You know, whenever I was dynoing it, you know, I had fun. I know Derek did some dynoing with the LX amplifier, and my voltage isn't perfect. You know, I was dropping down to 13.3, 13.5 on the 1 ohm test, you know, but it was still doing overrated. And I feel like even if anything, that's almost just as good of a result, a different result, but just as good, because majority of the people that are going to run a single 3,000 watt amplifier probably aren't going to have 14.4, 15 volts. I'm just saying, you know, you're going to have a little bit of fluctuation. And even 12.5 is still not terrible. It's not off the books. And those Kicker amplifiers, it's not that they're like the KX identically, where that one did, you know, pretty much rated down to 12 volts, almost, you know, 11.5. It still tried to do all 2,400 watts. This one will do a little bit less, but again, it's a Kicker amp, so it's got that extra cushion to begin with. So even when the voltage drops, you're still getting a lot of power. The efficiency is off the charts for any other monoblock out there. You know, I look at all of Derek's Big D videos and the efficiency numbers. Like, that's what I'm really in. Like, yeah, numbers are great, dynamic, okay. But like, the efficiency numbers are the most important thing, because that's, you know, you're wasting money on batteries, or your voltage is going to be as good, and you're not going to be able to get those numbers unless you have a ton of electrical. And the efficiency is bar none. Like, it's in the 90s, man. Like, that is incredible for a D-class mono amplifier making thousands of watts. Let's see. Good evening, Anthony. Thank you for tuning in. Good evening to you and the rest of the chat. Will a single Kicker 15 in the right enclosure hit 140 dBs? Okay, so 140 dB on a SPL lab, term lab, whatever lab software you got, not your handheld phone, you know, because you're only going to get like a 120. Been there, done that days. And a 140 is a very respectable number. And I feel like most people that just get into car audio, that are learning about, okay, this can actually get pretty loud if I do it right, they want that 140 dB number. And I feel like it's very achievable even with smaller drivers. You know, a 10, a 12, you can do it, but then you're starting to stretch things. So a 15, it should have no problem being able to do a 140, regardless of a lot of situations, as long as the enclosure is around what it's supposed to be in. That is the main contributing factor, and how big of the vehicle it is, because how much air do you have to compress to create that pressure, in a sense, to reach the meter that's a little bit farther away and in a bigger environment. So there's a lot of factors that go into it, but absolutely, man, 1000%. Even when I used to compete and I had an L515 doing a 141.9, 47 hertz, but on like 300 watts, you know, and in a big Volvo wagon. So you can definitely do it. I feel like the 140 is that just milestone. It really is. Of course, the 150 is the new 160, but that's a whole different level, man. It really is. Thank you for tuning in, Anthony. Appreciate you. Bad as customs. I'd probably be mostly concerned about super cold amplifiers warming up too quickly and creating condensation, sweating internally. You know, and that's a thing you got to think about too, is the moisture. Is your vehicle outside, and is there moisture in the vehicle? Or maybe it's been so cold for so long, the humidity levels are next to nothing, so then you don't have to worry about that as much, but you're still going to have some kind of condensation going on. And that again comes down to the amplifier's integrity. How solid is it? Is the water getting into the PCB board, or whatever the green part is on an amplifier? And is it going to be able to withstand a little bit of moisture? You know, I feel like there are some things on that. I'm not 100% sure on that. But either way, something you got to take into consideration of just playing in the cold and hot. And I mean, living up here in Pennsylvania, we get all 4 seasons in one day. And I've never had an issue, no matter what amplifier I've had with that. Now, I'm not going from negative 40 degrees to 80 degrees in a day. But still, I'm going like one day will be 20 degrees, and then the next day will be 69. Nice. So, you know, it just fluxes a lot. Thank you for tuning in, Bad Customs. Ed's new sub is looking pretty good, and you know what, man? I can't wait to have them on Friday and talk about the Bass Blaster. It's not the Graboid from Tremors 3, the Bass Blaster, and it just throws back of, the old school woofers, and when I first said it to him, I was like, dude, that reminds me of like the Audiobahn Flame series or anything around that, you know what I mean? Of just like that mesh motor and just big blue surround and like the silver tone dust cap. Like, I'm obviously all Kicker, but Sparked Innovations, like they're their own thing. They make mostly just stuff, appliances for car audio, if you want to call it that, with like the fanny, the switches, all that kind of stuff. So to have their own woofer, it's just kind of cool. You know what I mean? It's just like this, random guy. Hey, you know what? I've been doing this for years. I'm going to start my own thing. And a nod to all the guys who've been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years. So it's awesome. And to have them on the show, again, it's going to be a blessing, man. Thank you, Jason, WW2000. Stuart, thank you for tuning in. I wasn't 100% sure. I'm like, that's got to be Stuart. But the logo was throwing me off, man. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I think that might be a new Stuart with, or maybe that is Stuart, just got a different profile. But now that I know. And thank you for tuning in to the Unmasked show. And again, great questions, man. Appreciate you for tuning in. And the green team, you gotta throw the green team. Where's the green team? I thought I had that over here.
Green team.
Thank you, Stuart. Appreciate you. Let's see. Corna says, I was stationed in Pensacola, Florida. Never even seen weather close to freezing. That is crazy. I guess now they really do have the whitest beaches. Hey, man, I didn't even think of that either, because it's like Texas is getting snow. People were making shorts, doing stuff in the snow. They've never been in the snow. Like they just never went up north or whatever. And it is kind of crazy when you think about it. And either way, man, it's here, it's gone, but still, I'm worried about what February brings. We always get a lot of snow in February. I'm not even up that far north either. I know Cornut, he's up there pretty good. Up in the Pacific Northwest. You just got. Ernie says you just gotta look at it. Oh, look at it.
Let's see if someone put something up. Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah, look at that. And here we go, CAE. It's not Friday, but
Bass hitting hard. Yeah, yeah. Turn down for what? Okay. Yeah, yeah.
This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
Flux capacitor.
I missed the $10 super chats, gifted memberships on Tuesday, man, because the flux capacitor. I mean, need I say more? But thank you, CAE, for gifting 10 memberships. 10 new people added to the green team. And, man, you guys are crazy. Listen to this. On the top there, I had to buy a separate thing so that I could add all 180 green team members, because majority of them have been on the green team for at least 3 months or longer. All you need to be on it really is a month to be on it. And you go from yellow to green. So I was like, I need something. I'm out of Texas. I can't fit all the names, and it would just stop. And yeah, so I got another Ninja open software stuff, but I pay $10 a month for it just to have everybody up there on there. I needed that. I'm like, ugh, you gotta be kidding me. But from you guys gifting all the memberships, that's how we do it, man. Thank you, CAE. And yes, just look at it. You got to look at it. Cornut with the dad jokes, the white beaches. Kyle Goddard, been part of the green team for 15 months. Congratulations, sir. And I appreciate all you guys for just being on the green team this entire show. Like, this entire time.
That's
man.
a live stream? Yeah. Would you look at that?
You just got to look at it sometimes. Thank you, Kyle, for sticking with us. Thank you, guys. Look, all I see is green, too, man. All I see is green. Right beside your names there. Anthony Adams. I haven't had a problem. I'm not doing demos when it's 3 degrees. I would say this, just like how Jason was saying about kind of like breaking it in. And the same thing goes with your like electrical in your car, right? You think about it. Teslas, they got heaters in their batteries. So whenever it's really cold, before you like kind of start the car, it kind of like heats up the batteries, right? Well, you kind of got to think of it like that too with car audio, man, just because the batteries in your car, depending what you're running and depending the temperature and your performance you're going to get out of that, your alternator, how much you're going to get out of that. Believe it or not, your alternator runs the best in the wintertime when it's really cold, and your batteries run the worst. And then flip it. Summertime, your batteries love to be warm. Batteries like to be 80 to 100 degrees, if not more, to perform at their peak performance. Check it out, man. Like, they like to be warm. And alternators do not. They do not. And Grim Reaper says sometimes you just gotta look at it. Oh, would you gotta look at it.
Well, would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at
Grim
it. Just
Reaper.
look at it.
Green
You gotta look at it
Reaper.
this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
The Green Reaper. I love it. I love it.
Green team.
Green Reaper. Appreciate you, man. And yes, you just gotta look at it, man. Appreciate you guys for the support tonight. The subsonic support. Thank you so much. And this was an awesome show tonight, man. And again, Kicker just kicked it off. I feel like there wasn't too much I had to cover, but I'm like, it's Tuesday. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it going. Thank you, Green Reaper. Thank you, CAE. And of course, Corn Nizzle. I think that's one of them. Let's see, you can get off 140 from 115-inch kicker easily. Absolutely, man. And, you know, if you got an L7X or if you got an L7S or an L7R or even a 15-inch kicker comp, they make them. Ones they sell at Walmart, yeah, you can get a 15 in that. And 140 easily. Any single one of them, just depending on all the other stuff. Look at Mr. SDK Morning. Hit the like if you're ready for demo season. I mean, we're getting there. I mean, I know Jake's got some snow down there.
I got bennies.
Demo season means two things. One, you're going to have fun, and then two, you may or may not blow up equipment alongside that. So, I mean, I'm excited. I hope I don't blow anything up, but to be able to run the 18 new one, hopefully, by Slamology, if that even happens, that will be night and day. I mean, you know, just something that can handle a little bit more abuse, I would say. And the amplifiers, I've never had an issue with that. It's just the Solo X18 from 2003, but it's really an 07, but kind of the same stuff. Almost 20-year-old woofer. I mean, just technology, man, huh? You know, but it was really efficient. It was really efficient, and it was designed for something different, man. Thank you, Mr. SDK. Appreciate you, sir. Cornut just went there. Ernie's still looking at it. All right. Thank you for tuning in, Mac. Appreciate you, all 44 of you guys in here tonight. I missed you. Thank you for tuning in. It sounds better in the cold, and that is probably most likely because your alternator, after, you know, the woofer kind of like, you know, stretches a little bit, right? Things start to kind of get stuck. Like, there's scientific words that I just don't know yet, but like, you know, kind of why rubber kind of like wants to stay at one position, right? And then you start doing stuff, starts to, you know, stretch, right? Well, I feel like that's a little bit tougher when it's colder, right? And, you know, as you do that a little bit, I mean, it doesn't take long for that to get ready to start flexing a little bit more after you start flexing it, you know, breaking it in because it's cold, right? And, yeah. I don't know, man. You know, it's, you got to be careful, but at the same time, you know, I've done it so many times without even thinking, and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, you know, like, shaking the snow off my car multiple times, you know, like you can't do that, warm up the car and warm up the woofer and then knock a bunch of snow off your car unless it's like 32 degrees, 34, which snow still might be there, but it's not the same, you know. You start the car, you open the window so you get more flex, you know, because physics. And, yeah, the snow just goes everywhere, you know, just full rip, you know, you're like, yeah, it's volume 32, bass knob, 100%, 110, 11, whatever you want to put it at, and you just rip it. And, I've never had an issue yet. And, but I would say the coldest I've done that was like negative 10, like 10 degrees, you know, like cold, but not zero, not negative. And I feel like if you're getting the negatives, like negative 30, like you're up in Canada or something like that, yeah, you might be tearing some. Probably, I would guess, I mean, the rubber is probably really, good to a point. And then the spider is obviously like a woven material. So I feel like maybe the woven material might not have as much elasticity as the rubber surround or, poly surround. And, it all depends. Again, the type of woofer. You got a foam surround. Maybe it does even better because it's a lighter, and it's just foam. It's different. So there's a lot of factors into it, man. And that's why it probably just sounds better in the cold. Just more alternator power, keeping your voltage a little bit higher, even though the batteries aren't performing just as good. But maybe once they get warm, you start putting a load onto them. They're good, but the outside where the engine is freezing cold. So that alternator is performing amazingly. It's not getting hot, so it's able to keep up the amount of current that it's rated for. Thank you, Anthony Adams. Just missing the fire logo. We do need the fire logo. I can add more logos. Big logos. Big logos. The tremors. He said it, not me. I love the Tremor series, man. They were awesome. And Bass Blaster, right? Yeah, Bass Blaster. Are they going to come out with an L7X8? Did they? No, I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of winks, and if it was just me being a random person watching the UnMasked show and seeing what people say in Facebook communities and stuff like that, I would say they probably will. I would say that. And would that be something that's down the road, like years, or soon? I would say sooner than later. Thank you, Green Reaper. Good question. And Play It and Live It. Thank you for hanging out with us. I just need to get my electrical up to par. Lights dimming a lot. And, that is like literally the biggest, quote, problem, of car audio, because alternators in your vehicle are only designed to keep up what's inside your vehicle when the manufacturer designs the car, right? So you're adding something that wasn't intended. And, you can only get away so long with batteries unless you start getting batteries that are higher voltage, and then you got to charge higher, and then it's just a whole snowball effect of putting money and time into your system to get it going. And if you go the other way, which you can go both ways, I recommend going both so that you can match everything. But then the alternator, and then that's still money, and then you got to get one that's custom to the car, got a different size belt, make sure that the pulley's right, and all this other stuff, and voltage regulator. What kind are you going to get? Self-exciting? Is it going to be OEM with, or is it going to be an external regulator? And there's all different avenues, but the dimming of the headlights, the capacitor, nah. My advice, if you're just starting out and you're just trying to make it a little bit better, your lights are always going to dim unless you got certain lights that just don't dim, and there's a certain type that just don't dim. They're either going to be on or they're going to be off. They're not going to dim like a incandescent light bulb or something like that. So that can help too. And as long as you keep the voltage above 12 volts, in most cases, you should be totally fine. Thank you. Play it and live it. Okay, too many non-green people. And then that's when he gifted them. Appreciate you, CAE. CAE, how are ya, brother? Green Reaper said that's a great video. Oh, yes, Tremors. Looking at it. Good. Bass Cord, thank you for tuning in. And thank you for sending a rose.
Because we don't want you to blow it up. So turn the gain down, Andy.
I think it's $1, and thank you, Joe. Joe Hobart from KICKER, if you didn't know that. He's one of the main guys behind their amplifier designs and just that fun stuff, man. Awesome individual, and I love seeing him on the UnMasked show. I know Ernie would probably have him on every Tuesday, but Joe's like, all right, listen, we got to keep him wanting more. So appreciate you, Bass Cord, for sending the rose. You are awesome, and we got 2 likes on TikTok. Appreciate you for that. Let's see. SDK, good morning, people. Yeah, see, I don't have TikTok set up for notifications through Super Chats like YouTube, and I think Facebook stars work, but I don't have it logged into my main account, Living Loud with Andy. I use my personal because most people just know that I do this stuff, right? YouTube is for the streaming, and yes, so to have it on both, I'd have to pay another $20 a month, and it just doesn't make sense. So I'm like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. But yeah, the Living Loud with Andy page would show the likes and the comments and all that other, like, just fancy stuff. But we make do. We make do. Oh, there's Dobby. Thank you for tuning in, Dobster. Appreciate you. Dobby with the explodes. Appreciate you. And, yeah, Sony explode, huh? Regular toast with sausage and white gravy. It's called Shut On. Oh, come on, Kyle. I mean, I'm fine with sausage and gravy. Thank you for tuning in, Muhammad. Hazir, appreciate you. How you been? Thank you for tuning in. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Tried chip beef, chip tam, yes. Gonna wait. I can't wait. Gonna eat the bacon tomorrow. Gonna wait. I know, don't eat all your food. Everyone has to get ready for hibernation. You might be frozen in, depending where you are. You gotta save the bacon, man. I know, it's crazy. Bacon is $9 to $10 up here. For like, I mean, we get like the good bacon and like a lot of bacon, like 16 ounces, but like it's like $10, and it was like $6, so like $5 before. It is crazy, but we try to save the bacon. And it just doesn't happen. Appreciate you, Shannon.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Shannon says, I really think they should come out with a Warhorse amp that's half ohm for the Kicker fans. And, we can go down this conversation here. Okay, so half ohm stable, or to be able to run it and wire it at half ohm and banking on impedance rise, box rise that we all know and love, right? So for something to be able to handle a half ohm resistive load, on an amp dyno, then you would be able to wire it at quarter ohm, right? Relying on impedance rise. So you're it's the same thing of having an amplifier that's 2 ohm stable and does all the same amount of watts, but at 2 ohms instead of 1, and wiring it down to 1, and then it's that race to 0, and I feel like with an amplifier, to be able to carry that amount of current, that is the problem, is the current, right? Whenever you got a lot of voltage, you're good, right? And then the current doesn't have to be as high to create as much power as you would, because the voltage is higher. But then, if you have that same amount of voltage is really high and the same amount of current's really high, yes, you're going to be able to make more power, but then those parts have to be able to transfer all that current. And then you're talking about amplifiers that got 0 gauge thick rails because it needs to make, 200-300 amps going through it, because we want to be at quarter ohm and do it at 50 volts, but like 200 amps, and there's math. That's the problem. And doesn't work exactly like that, but you kind of get what I'm saying. So can you wire the Warhorses at half ohm? I've done it. Drew Jones has done it. Kyle has done it. Steve Barber has done it. And, even whenever I run the 18 on my 2 Warhorses, it's only going to be at 1 ohm. If I had 2, I'd wire it at half ohm. I still would. Whenever I did the demonstration of the SPL tests with the Warhorse in Kayla's car on the 12 Solo X, I had it at half ohm, and I was getting 3,300 watts to 3,600 watts clamped. Okay, rising to like 1.5, 2 ohms, right? Staying around 13.5 volts. And yes, you can do it. But for something to be half ohm stable, I just don't think it makes sense. It's just that race to 0, and then you're going to be paying for an amplifier that can carry current rather than an amplifier that can just create more voltage than the other one at the same amount of current, aka more power. So there is that. Appreciate you so much. Shannon, and let's see here. Christopher, welcome to the green team. He just joined the green team. Would you look at that? We got to look at it. We got a new member.
I took a look at it, huh?
Oh, would you look at it?
Yeah.
You looked at it.
I looked at it.
Very good.
I kept looking at it.
He just kept looking at it. Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate you, sir. CM Enclosure. What is up? Oh, they didn't know it. All right. Dub True, I got some new rattles for the cold weather. Sucks. I just got to fix it. You got to love those rattles that just pop up, man. Absolutely, Green Reaper. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. What is the point? Real Cisco, thank you for tuning in again, man. What is the point of bass boost? So I kind of covered this a little bit on Friday, but to keep it quick is to amplify certain frequencies, maybe that are not as loud as you want them to be when you put that enclosure woofer into a vehicle with cabin gain things, you know, physics, right? Say you're tuned to 32 hertz, right? And say on the meter, you know, you're burping it and you got these little nulls, right? They're not nulls, but it's just not as loud as you want it to be within your bandpass frequency. So say you're tuned to 32, but you can play like 28 to like 54, right? But you have a little bit of a drop around like, I don't know, we'll say 37, you know, kind of a little drop, and then it might pick up again. Well, you can adjust the bass boost frequency to 37 and put it up 3 dBs, and then your fall off wouldn't be as much because you're adding more power around those frequencies. We'll say 36, 35, 38, 39, where you're dipping. And I feel like that is the purpose of bass boost, and there's nothing else. It's not to make the system sound louder. Can it make it sound louder? Yes, but only at a certain volume. It's not going to get any louder than the amplifier can physically create power. And then you're going to run into that problem of clipping. You're going to be clipping on certain parts of the song because you're amplifying more power at the bass boost frequency and not as much as the other. So you might just be clipping at 40 hertz and then not clipping at 30, not clipping at 50, and you're wondering why your sub's getting hot. It's because you're just purposely clipping at that bass boost frequency, and if you just had it flat, you would have been okay. Or just don't play those frequencies. But then it wouldn't be as loud for you. So there's always that. Thank you, Real Cisco. There is a point for it, but people use it in the wrong manners. I swapped to all LEDs, no more lights dimming. Right, and that's the bingo, bingo, bango. Thank you, Jason. And I know there's HIDs, LEDs, projections, incandescent, and all this other stuff. And, right. And that will help you sleep better if your lights aren't dimming. I don't know. I kind of like the headlights dimming factor. It's like, it just reminds me of all the years of driving through downtown and just, and like the lights just going boom, boom, boom. It just, I knew I had some power in my car, even though it wasn't even that loud then, but it felt louder. You know, it felt loud. And with the headlights, just, yeah, I'm doing something, man. I'm doing something. Appreciate you guys. All right, I'm not ready to deaden again. It's only been 15 years since I did it last. Deadening. Always dampen. I always do them wrong. Yes. Yeah, you know, man, and that's always a struggle too, man. Always a struggle. Bass boost is so companies can sell you more frequently asked questions. FAF. I don't know what that means, but yes. Right. It's just like, you know, they were saying to sell more KICKER speakers, you know, to fill in your rear fill. You know, I mean, I get it. But yeah, when you're talking like SQ and like, you know how to do the stuff right and time alignment. Yeah, there's no real need for rear fill other than to make the atmosphere feel bigger where you're listening so it doesn't sound shallow. And that's literally about it. And that's if you can't overcompensate that with tuning. I have an oversized box and the installer add bass boost. He didn't. I mean, it's okay. It's not that it's just, you know, game over. You're just going to be louder at those said frequencies if it has adjustable bass boost. If it doesn't, they say on the amplifier, you know, 45 dB and up to 12 dB bass boost, and that's your level right there, 0 to 12. And it's probably a 12 dB slope from 40 hertz or 45 hertz. So you're going to be louder at like 35 to 45 or to 55, you know, whatever that would be. And but still, you know, it's not going to make your system just, oh man, that is terrible to do. It's just going to make it really boomy and not as flat. But it depends what you're listening to. You know, you might not even notice it if you're listening to some rock music. Maybe it actually enhances some of the bass because maybe that type of music just doesn't have higher levels of the lower frequencies as rap and rebass that are just maxed, right? They are giving you all of what you want. The rock music maybe doesn't. And the bass boost could make sense there because then it's like, well, yeah, I want a little bit more kick. Just because it's just like a kick drum, it's just like tom, you know, and just give it a little bit more. But again, man, I feel like if you can control it without adding bass boost, it's easier to remove than to add. So crossovers, adjustments, I feel like it goes a long way, man. Thank you, Paxton Norton, for liking the live on TikTok. I'm glad it's working. Would you look at that? Would you just look at that? 721 likes. See, that's what I don't understand about TikTok. But we got 2 people watching. Sound like a geezer here. I don't got no riz. All right. I've leveled up from LEDs to gas lamps. Get good. Gas lamps, man. What are we? 1950s here. I mean, Gasville. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, makes sense. So the new KICKER 4-channel amp has 4 clip knobs. That's cool. Very flexible clip settings. I know I want one, but I love my KXA 400.4s, and they have 2 light up bass knobs on each one for amp 1, amp 2 for your front and your rear. And let me tell you, it's like I set it by ear and then I turn around, I play my favorite song, right? Or whatever. And I look back and I'm like, I'm clipping. All right, I need to turn that down. This one's good, but this one's not. And it gives me a clear indication while I'm bumping down the road. But that's one thing I want to mention is with the clip limiter, at least with the KXA, it did not reflect that on the bass knob. The bass knob did not connect to the 4-channel. Now, I don't know if it connects. It might connect, but I don't think it does. To the bass knob with the clip detection, I think that's only for the 7-channel or the 5-channel with the subwoofer out for the clip indicator. But on the amp itself, you can tell while you're playing music, just like you are tuning it. Just take a look back, play the music, get out of your car, look around. Am I clipping or am I not? And if you're clipping, just turn it down. I know it might not sound as loud, but trust me, your ears are going to thank you, man. It's not even like your ears are going to be ringing per se, but it's like you can tell, like you get exhausted from listening. And that is why, because it's just distortion slowly just beating up your eardrums, man. It really, really is. The likes are rolling up. Appreciate you. 35 likes. Thank you, CAE. It is very cool, man. Even if you don't need whatever for the big bass amp, use their 4 channels. You know, it's night and day, and you're going to have a beautiful sound system. Like, I've tuned Cookie Monster with the Street Series multiple times just by doing different things and getting in the back. And I'm like, oh, okay, I like this here. Let me adjust this now, you know, and always knowing if I'm clipping or not. And of course, I mean, when I was giving demos at Slam, there was a few songs that I was clipping a little bit intentionally. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's okay. They like it loud. They like it loud. All right. Half ohm catching up there a little bit. 52-minute mark. Let's see what else we got. Double E, let me know when you got the package E. Hopefully that gets there soon. Oh man, thank you for hanging out, sir. And I know he didn't enter tonight's contest, but he did enter and he got 3rd place. And we shipped that from Living Loud with Andy Studio all the way to the other side of the world into the future. We needed a DeLorean for that, and let me tell you, Cornet helped me out on that. I was like, man, where am I going to get a DeLorean for cheap? And he knew the guy, so thank you, Cornet. We're in J-Town. I'm under state emergency, no salt. Oh, man. I know a guy, Mr. Damian Stewart. We can send him out to your place. Salt for you if you need to go to Walmart or something. Thank you for tuning in, Cedric. And I wouldn't be driving that Suburban anyway, man. I know you want to, do some base riding or just, go to Walmart, whatever have you. Just enjoy the night and be safe. And thank you for tuning in, Betty. The range on price eggs is wild. 4 to 15 depending on the store and the brand. You know, I buy the just Walmart, you know, eggs. I look at them. Oh, look at that. They look good. Make sure they're not cracked and painted too much because I swear they paint them. But yeah, the 18 pack, they're like $5, $6. They're eggs. Kayla knows how to cook them. McDonald's has it. 0 ohms. He just wants to see it.
0 ohm. No impedance level whatsoever.
0 ohms. I mean, he's right. Just 0 ohms, and then that is the amplifier that everybody wants. It is 0 ohms stable. You can put any woofer on it, and it'll never shut off because it's never going to create power. Got him. Double E, stop with the 12 volt. Let's move to 48. And I'm on that team because my moped is 48 volts. And to do like what? You know, like 700 watts, 1,000 watts. You're talking what? Less than 20 amps? The math is mathing. And amps is what can kill you if you get shocked. Amps is the inrush, the push of power going through your system. The voltage is just potential, man, and kind of like think of the water explanation with the water tower way up high. Super high one's going to have higher voltage. A little lower one that's not as tall with as much water volume is going to have a lower voltage. And whenever it goes through that same amount of resistance pipe, it's not going to flow quite as fast with that same amount of resistance or pressure being applied against the walls of the pipe. So there is always that. But yes, fluid dynamics, electricity, car audio, they kind of go hand in hand. 48 volts does make sense, but for amplifiers, I don't think we're quite there yet. You definitely could, but you're going to have a lot of fabrication that will need to be made and transition. Thank you for tuning in, Chad. Appreciate you. Hello, Andy. Thank you for hanging out with us again, man. Missed you, buddy. Hope your Tuesday is going well. Frame off restoration. Rattling is so annoying. Troy, a little better voltage when chilly, and that is all because of the alternator, man. Thank you for tuning in, Troy. Hope your Tuesday is going well, and I know you probably got some snow out there in San Diego. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. And yes, it's just, that is just physics, thermal physics, I wouldn't say thermal law, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just something that is creating power, and whenever it gets hotter and when it's got mechanical parts in there, I feel like the efficiency starts to drop because it starts to create more heat, and by creating more heat, the things start to lose their efficiency. And why batteries? I mean, batteries do reach that point eventually too, whenever you get them super duper hot. Everything has their limit, but they just do a little bit better in temperatures that we would think are warm for like an alternator, but are actually okay for a battery to a point. I mean, under 120 degrees, absolutely. 80 to like 110, 120 degrees, even lithium, man, it likes to be warm, not hot, not cold, depending on the lithium. Does Andy play drums? Absolutely. I got an electric drum set upstairs. I got, my Pacific PDP drum set, but it's missing all the mechanical stuff, which kind of sucks. But the electric drum set gets me by, and it's collecting dust, but I did have it up not too long ago. Absolutely, Kyle. Absolutely. I played in a band. I have all LEDs. They run cooler, run hot, burn out faster. And that's the thing, even with like halogen lights, that's the word. Halogen lights or just whatever. Yeah, anything that just burns hotter usually doesn't have as long life, you know? Just kind of physics, man. Physics, and kick the like. You just gotta kick it. Kick it. Thank you, Shoop Dog. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, I listen to everything bass boosted helps for these 90s house and old R&B and country. Right. And it all comes down to music choice. And every time I answer a question, I try to sum it, right? And it's impossible because music cannot be summed. It's dynamic on all levels, different genres, different recording levels, different everything. So even when you're tuning your system and you might be clean or whatever, wherever you set it, you might want more because of how it's recorded, the type of music you're listening to. And the clipping and a little bit of distortion might be so short you might not even notice, so a little bit of bass boost can go a long way and it might sound okay for you. So there is no real, oh no, that's the only way to do it. No, man, if it sounds good to you, that's what matters. And I hear you on that, man. I turn up a little bit more too on that. And that's why I give myself a little bit of headway whenever I'm setting my gains. It's like, all right, so on the sub level on my radio, right, I leave it at like 7 out of 10. So whenever I want to really crank it, either for competing or just know that I'm getting the most amount of power for whatever I'm trying to do, and or listening to music that isn't just heavy rap or rebass stuff, that I can make it without adding just bass boost. I'm just adding more gain in a sense, and just making it louder because the music is just inherently quieter. So absolutely, man. Not the volts, it's the amperage. 1000%, sir. I thought that was a super chat. I was like, that's a weird looking super chat. But yes, thank you for the eggs, Kyle. Thank you for the eggs. Don't remember I placed in a thing and won a lanyard and or sticker or something. CAE. What kind of lanyard? You still haven't sent. Wait. If that was the case, I totally forgot. Do I not have your address? What was that for? Let me know. I'll send you whatever, CAE. I got you, buddy. I don't know how I'd forget that. I mean, I understand how I'd forget. I do too much, but I'm sorry about that. And we'll get you going. And I have a lot of kicker lanyards. Every other Slamology, they dump some on me, and it's amazing because I get to hand them out, and you guys get extra kicker lanyards, and my entire family has a kicker lanyard individually. Like, everyone's rocking kicker, man. I mean, yes. So cold for batteries, cold bad for batteries, cold good for alternators. Absolutely. And then flip it and then reverse it. And it's the opposite, for, yes, good for batteries when it's warm, and vice versa. So, but in wintertime, we'll say 40 degrees, 50 degrees, like that, cold, but not hot. And your engine bay is, outside, like around your alternator is like maybe like 60, 70 ambient right around it. So it's never really getting super hot. But then your batteries, after playing for like 10 minutes, inside your batteries are hot because they're discharging all that power. And then they start to get to that optimal range. And then they're warm, and then the alternator's cold. So then you're getting the best bang out of your buck. But right out the gate, yeah, the batteries are a little sluggish. AGM are real sluggish in the cold, man. Lead acid a little bit better in the cold. Lithium, depending the lithium of how sluggish it is and the type of materials that are in there. And yes, I know LTO works really well compared to even like lithium iron phosphate. Lithium iron phosphate's very temperamental with the cold. That's why I'm kind of worried every winter with Cookie Monster. And the main thing you got to think about, if you got lithium in your car and it's wintertime and you're worried that it's super cold, say if it's like negative 10 degrees outside, I wouldn't just start your car right away, because it's going to drain from that battery. It's going to be a lot of work, and your lithium iron phosphate might have an issue with that. My advice, get the battery a little warm. You don't have a battery heater, turn your headlights on for 5-10 minutes. That'll be plenty enough to get that battery just, oh yeah, I got to do something. I got to work today. Absolutely, man. Andy, same bub. Okay, so maybe that was from Living Loud with Andy Day. It would have to be. Unless... because I did the 9K stuff. That is all done. And I'm trying to remember what we did before. It had to been for Living Loud with Andy Day. Refresh my memory what we did. And if you guys sent me your addresses, I know I'm usually on that stuff, man. All right, get a temp heater. Yeah, you can get like a fish heater. Stick it in there, like Chris over here. No, Chris. Wiz. Oh, Chris, rest in peace. Where you at, Wiz? Come on, up here. You coming up? There he is. He's a trained dog.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's time for the show to end. Get out of here. Give me some food.
No, you can get food later, buddy. You can get food later. Mine is not animated. It is a real fish. And he just light a fire to warm up your battery. I mean, that is not the worst. Yeah, that's probably the worst idea, Bobby. Wade, now that you're here, thank you for the Cookie Monster hoodie, man. That thing is awesome. Thank you so much for the Christmas gift. And thank you for all that your support. Just over the time, man. The Kicker Club, being here, super chatting, hanging out, being an awesome guy, and just being Wade. And we're going to end the show. But Cracker, thank you for tuning in. Oh, well. Oh, well. Hecklefish 2.0. That's it, man. They're cousins. Long-lost cousins. You know, Elmo had a fish, too. Elmo had a talking fish as a co-host, okay? Just saying. Just saying. It's not copyright yet. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Not going to keep you here all night. We got Friday Sparked Innovations coming on. Got to get ready for that. And Tuesday, Kicking It with Andy. But thank you for watching Kicker Unmasked tonight. And, man, they did awesome, man. Jacob and Aaron, Ernie, and we had just everybody. J-Dub and Colin in the basement, calling the shots. Thank you guys for putting on an awesome show. Thank you for watching tonight. And have an awesome weekend. Man, I'm thinking it's Friday. Have an awesome week. And try to keep them batteries warm and cookie on the caboose. Stay living loud. I'll see you guys on the next one. That would be cool. I don't have one yet.
Okay. So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
appreciate you guys all tuning in. The subwoofer has taken over the living room, and Ernie, Sandy, we need new Kicker Unmasked cups. Mine are starting to fade. Plus, with the new Kicker Unmasked logo, it's kind of cool. I swear it's Tim's car. And Cornholio has donated $4. Cornholio. It's not corn. Nope. Nope. not Cornut. Thank you, Cornut. Appreciate you. And thank you guys all tuning in tonight. Special thanks to all the Green Team Patreons, $25 Patreons, Cornut, Mike, DePauli, Kibo, Baba, and William. And the rest of you guys are awesome. And stay living loud. I'll see you guys on the next one. And then we dance.